Hi everyone, this is Keshav Reddy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about the differences between what is literature and language. Let us quickly move into the class. What is literature? Literature refers to any work, either written, oral, or spoken. It uses intellectual thoughts, imagination, and creativity. It is derived from the word litera. Litera means letter. Four basic literary forms are poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction. What is language? So literature is something either written or spoken or oral one. Then language is the basic unit of the literature. So language is a means of communication. It's a tool for communication. Language uses words, sounds, gestures, and grammar rules, etc. And remember, only humans are blessed with the speech. No other animal can speak. It's a language is a word derived from lingua, Latin word, which means a tongue or language. And the four basic skills of language are LS or W. So let us go see a literary piece, that is a poem written by Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Here, this poem, it's a piece of literature, and its basic units is the language. So here the words or sentences are used, and the meaning is packed into these words in the form of a literature, that is in the form of a poem. See, here the words woods, woods represents a forest. Once the poet was wandering or moving through the forest, he was attracted to the beautiness of that forest, and he wants to stay there, stay in the forest, but he remembered that he has many goals to do, many things to do. So he just reminding that miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. The first sleep may become maybe the day-to-day sleep, and the second one is to be the death, the things he has to do before his death. So it's a beautiful message packed in 4 lines. It was written by Robert Frost. Now let us see one quotation by Ezra Pound. This quotation gives us the relationship between the literature and the language. See, I have already told you the literature always needs a language. See, in the poem, the language, the simple language used by the poet gives us a great meaning. That's why great literature is simply language charged with meaning to the utmost possible degree. So this was a beautiful quotation given by Ezra Pound. And let us see some of the relations between language and literature. Literature and language are interlinked. They are interlinked. Uh, See how. Always language is the fundamental unit of the literature. For example, if you compare a literature to a building, then language becomes a brick. If the literature becomes a goal, then language becomes the path or road. See, language as I have told you, it's a method of expression. It's a means of communication. Whereas literature is collection of all these expressions. And see, language is expressed through our feelings, thoughts, according to the situations. But whereas literature talks about all our life experiences, the beautiness of nature and the problems of the world, many things. And as in the poem I have given by Robert Frost, language of literature looks often very simple, but it is packed with meaning. Literature language uses figurative language, stylistic devices. Ordinary languages uses formal syntax. One second. Literary language always uses figurative language, stylistic or literary devices to make a ordinary sentence to an extraordinary one. But whereas the ordinary language uses the formal syntax, formal vocabulary, and formal grammar rules only, whereas a literary language always breaks all these things. There is a breakage of grammar, there is a breakage in the syntax formats, their vocabulary is also different. So let us see one example here. Um, is literary language different from ordinary language? Yes. How? Ordinary language is always the exact meaning, or it gives a meaning exactly what the words has to give, the precise meaning or the simple meaning of the words. If I want to say I have a headache today, it's a simple one. Or I can say the red bulb was glowing. If you see, if you want to translate these into a literary language or a figurative language, see how we can use a literary devices and how it pushes the reader to explore and understand the deeper meaning of it. See, using exaggeration, I can say like this: I feel like my head is going to explode. Instead of saying I have a headache, I can say like this. Instead of saying the red bulb was glowing, the soft glow came from the tiny setting sun firmly fixated on the wall. I'm just comparing the bulb to a sun. So that's a literary language. See, why language is important? Nowadays, in the global village, the world has become a global village, and we need a global language here, and that is the English becomes the global language, and it's also a window on the world. To look into the world, you need a window. That window is English, and it's a link language, lingua franca, and it's a language of science and technology, computers, internet, tourism, media, industry, journals, and newspapers, what not. It's library of and literature language. It's a language of library and literature also. Even 80% of the publications of library are in English language. And finally, in one word, we can say English language is a passport to the employment. What is literature then? Why literature? Why we should read literature? See, studying literature is like looking at the mirror of life. Is looking at the mirror to look into deep into our feelings and our thoughts. Literature gives us pleasure. Reading, reading literature, watching literature in the form of drama, in the form of a movie, in the form of a YouTube a video. It gives us pleasure. It relieves our stress. It not only relieves and stress, and not only gives pleasure, it teaches us values, morals, history, past and present. It also boosts up your imagination, it creativity, and it gives a value of appreciation of nature and beauty around us. Not only this pleasure and teaching something, it improves our vocabulary, reading and writing skills also. That's why a famous poet Philip Sidney says, man cannot better spend his time than in poetry, than in literature. So there is no good thing to spend other than literature. Thank you, and thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you. Thank you very much.